In the pale hours before dawn, early risers stopped to stare at a girl moving strangely down the street. Her beauty was undeniable, black hair cascading like seaweed. One shoulder strap slipped off to reveal snow-white skin, marked by vivid green and purple bruises. Despite the intrigue she sparked, no one dared approach. She limped unevenly, yet her expression remained calm, her eyes alert and detached. This was Yun Qin, reborn after 48 years of existence. Like a newborn, she absorbed her surroundings, the flat streets, glowing lamps, and the twilight sky. Tears almost welled as she recognized the world she once knew. She had spent 30 years kneeling before Hades' palace, pleading for a chance to return to the living to claim vengeance. Her previous life had ended in betrayal, forced to leap from a building. By her stepmother and stepsister, she became a vengeful spirit uncovering the cruel conspiracy behind her demise. The same pair had conspired with outsiders to ruin her family, causing the deaths of her father and brother and seizing their fortune. She sought only to punish them, yet Hades granted her a body and eyes that could see beyond the mortal veil. Now relearning to walk, Yun Qin felt the strange mix of alienation and familiarity with the human world. The bruises on her body recalled the night her stepsister had framed her, pregnant, vulnerable, fleeing home only to be trapped by their cruel scheme. Her family, torn apart by lies and betrayal. She steadied herself, ignored the urge to return home immediately, and ate to regain strength. Clad in new clothes, she approached her house with cautious resolve. Inside, relatives of her stepmother, the Chen family, were gathered, whispering harsh judgments. "Is it proper for a young lady to be out all night?" Chen Yun's sister taunted. Yunro, her stepsister, feigned concern, but venom brewed beneath her words. Chen Yuan's voice dripped with disdain just as Yun Qin entered. "What are you all doing here so early?" Yun Qin asked coldly. Meeting their surprised stares, Yunro rushed forward. "Big sister, where were you last night? We called so many times." Her smile was false, her hatred sharp as she inwardly seethed. "I was at school, doing experiments, and stayed at a friend's," Yun Qin replied, eyes narrowing slightly. No need for punishment now. Their plans had already unraveled. Yunro blinked in disbelief, her schemes shattered by the girl she had sought to ruin. "No." Yun Qin's gaze hardened as she faced her stepsister Yun Rao, whose body was shrouded in a sinister black aura. Every breath Yunro exhaled carried smoky tendrils of darkness. Behind her, a gaunt, pale ghost clung to her back, greedily licking at her brain with a grotesquely long tongue. Ignoring the monstrous scene, Yun Qin knew this ghost would soon consume. Yunro, if left unchecked, her eyes flicked coldly, but she said nothing. Chen Yuan, sensing the tension, quickly intervened, masking her failure with forced concern. "Your sister doesn't mean that. We only worry about your safety." Yun Qin barely registered the empty words. The assembled family, once a source of comfort, now only stirred disgust within her. Without a word, she turned and began ascending the stairs, leaving behind their hollow reassurances. But as she passed Yun Rao, Yun Qin's hand twitched. A thick black mist surged from her palm into the ghost's form, invigorating the creature. The ghost turned its malevolent gaze toward Yun Qin, its tongue thickening as it reveled in the newfound power. Yun Qin staggered, drained from the night's ordeals and her encounter. With the hungry spirit, her strength waning, she retreated to her room, locking the door, and collapsing onto her bed. Her palm bore a vivid blood-red line. Her dwindling lifespan, Hades had granted her a fragile second chance at life, binding her to a terrible mission, to absorb the world's evil energy. Her thoughts drifted to Song Yin, the ninth master of the capital, who had lain beside her all night. In her previous life, Yunro had trapped her with aphrodisiacs, intending to sell her to a corrupt elder. Yun Qin had fled, accidentally entering Song Yin's chamber. overwhelmed by the same aphrodisiacs. Both had succumbed to passion, leaving Song Yin unconscious by dawn. Rumors painted Song Yin as cold and ruthless, yet Yunro had twisted these tales to isolate Yun Qin. When Yun Qin discovered she was pregnant, her reputation was shattered. Despair had driven her to leap from a building, transforming into a vengeful ghost. But beyond the whispers, the truth was darker. Song Yin's fainting was caused by the shock of losing his virginity under such strange conditions. He was sent abroad for healing, returning months later, only to learn of Yun Qin's death. Meanwhile, her father and brother were slain, and her family's wealth stolen by the cruel mother-daughter pair, who avenged Yun Qin's family, giving them the burial they deserved. Yun Qin pressed a hand to her flat belly, shadows flickering in her eyes. She owed Song Yin her life, and more. She would repay this debt, no matter the cost. Below, Chen Yuan dismissed her allies and whispered in fury to Yunro, "What have they done? Why did that little bitch return?" Yunro's face was pale as she lifted her hand to call, her voice trembling. Chen Yuan's fury simmered beneath her calm exterior, poisoned by the will she had stumbled upon in Yun Zhao's study. The document sealed her resentment. Yun Qin, the daughter from Yun Zhao's first marriage, was to receive a quarter of the family shares. Yun Qin's brother, Yunze, would claim even more, while Chen Yuan and her own daughter, Yunro, were left with scraps, mere fractions. Compared to the rightful heirs, years of loyalty, years of servitude to the Yun household meant nothing to Chen Yun. That girl, raised outside the family, wild and untamed, was poised to command them all. Her rage grew as she remembered Yun Zhao's cold justification. Lin Ya, Yun Qin's mother, had suffered, and her daughter deserved compensation for her hardships. Even as a girl, Chen Yuan had smiled and nodded then, but hatred had rooted deep within her heart. Yun Zhao's health was failing, and Chen Yuan knew the time had come. There was no turning back. She needed to seize the future for herself and Yunro, whatever the cost. After Yunro left to arrange the meeting Chen Yuan had ordered, she ascended the stairs, glass of milk in hand, and knocked on Yun Qin's door. A nap was interrupted by the persistent knocking and the familiar voice outside. "Xiao Qin, it's Auntie Chen. Are you there?" Chen Yuan's voice was syrupy sweet, concealing the venom beneath. The door cracked open, and Chen Yuan's hand swung through empty air, as Yun Qin barely revealed her lowered face. Undeterred, Chen Yuan slipped inside, noting the chill in the room and the girl's silent posture. "Are you upset? Bullied?" Chen Yuan coaxed, feigning concern. "Tell me. I'll help you." Yun Qin's patience thinned, yet she swallowed the black smoke that hissed just beneath her skin. Crushing Chen Yuan now would be too easy, and the pain of her past lingered sharper than any fight. She hesitated, voice barely above a whisper. Gentle. If something's wrong, don't hide it from me." A chill of triumph ran through Chen Yuan. So the wild girl wasn't as pure as she pretended. Yunro's claims of the man's failure only made this discovery sweeter. "Oh, what are these?" Chen Yuan gasped, moving to touch the bruises. Without warning, Yun Qin bit down hard on Chen Yuan's arms, sharp and fierce. "Let go! Let go!" Chen Yuan screamed. Yun Qin lifted her head, and in that instant, her eyes flickered with a ghostly, unnatural fury, as if a demon beneath the surface had been awakened. Yun Qin's eyes burned with fierce hatred as she reverted to her normal form, glaring at Chen Yuan as if she desired to tear her flesh. Chen Yuan stumbled backward, clutching the bite wound on her arm, where Yun Qin had sunk her teeth deep enough to draw blood. Panic surged through her. She fled down the stairs, desperate to escape the rage. Alone, Chen Yuan tended to her injury, smearing on medicine, while secretly thrilled at the thought of exposing Yun Qin's unraveling mind. To Yun Zhao, That dark bite had already begun to seep with sinister black smoke, invading her veins unnoticed. Meanwhile, Yun Qin savored the taste of Chen Yuan's blood lingering on her lips, a cruel smile curling her mouth as a mother figure. But that trust had been twisted into betrayal. Biting her was only the beginning. She was preparing a darker retribution. Null, exhausted from the toll of releasing her evil energy against Chen Yuan and her kin. Yun Qin rested, knowing such acts drained her lifespan. When she recovered, the women were gone. With a quiet resolve, she drove to her university to submit a suspension request. Her pregnancy weighed heavy on her mind. She vowed to protect the unborn child she had lost in her previous existence. As she stroked her belly, a familiar voice called out. Turning, she saw Jiang Mo, her old friend from the capital, her elegance undimmed. Yet a chill prickled Yun Qin's skin, the faint but unmistakable aura of evil energy clung to Jiang Mo's face and body, though no spirits hovered nearby. It was an unsettling mystery. Jiang Mo approached, puzzled by Yun Qin's wary gaze rubbing her face, as if to dismiss the tension seeping into Yun Qin, who masked her suspicion with feigned warmth. Jiang Mo spoke casually, unaware of the danger she carried. A creeping realization dawned on Yun Qin. Jiang Mo bore the scent of a Rakshasa ghost, a seductive demon that entwined itself with victims to drain their vitality without killing them outright. How Jiang Mo had become entwined with such a creature remained a troubling unknown, but Yun Qin's instincts warned her the darkness was spreading further than she had feared. At the school gate, Jiang Mo's eyes brightened as she told Yun Qin that her boyfriend, Zhou Hao, was there to pick her up. Though from starkly different worlds, Jiang Mo the heiress, Zhou Hao from a modest family, their union was quietly accepted by her family. Yet Yun Qin's attention was elsewhere. A dark unease clung to the air, a scent of Rakshasa growing stronger, wrapping around Jiang Mo like a suffocating shadow. A man stepped out of a sleek car, shading himself beneath a parasol, and smiled warmly. Yun Qin instinctively pulled Jiang Mo back, wary of the black smoke coiling around him, the Rakshasa's foul presence. Undiminished even in daylight, yet Jiang Mo laughed off the caution, eager to drag Yun Qin to her home, insisting she visit. Inside Jiang Mo's apartment, the oppressive gloom deepened. Thick curtains blocked the sun, casting the rooms into an unnatural twilight, demanded the darkness, but Yun Qin's instincts screamed otherwise. When pressed, Jiang Mo confessed a chilling truth. She felt another presence in the house, something sinister and unholy. Despite Jiang Mo's usual cheer, her nerves were frayed, and she revealed Zhao Hao's recent strange behaviors, sleepwalking with vacant eyes, wielding a knife, staring without recognition. Yun Qin's suspicion hardened. The Rakshasa had embedded itself deeper than she feared, as Yun Qin unleashed her own dark energy to root out the malevolence. A blood-curdling scream pierced the silence. Suddenly, Zhou Hao emerged from the kitchen, knife in hand, his expression blank. The veil between man and monster thinned, and in that suffocating shadow, Jiang Mo stared in disbelief as Zhou Hao, once gentle and familiar, now glared at her with eyes filled with malevolence. Yun Qin, watching closely, warned Jiang Mo, "He's not Zhou Hao anymore." His hands gripped a kitchen knife, his expression twisted, clearly possessed. Before Jiang Mo could react, Zhou Hao lunged at her. Yun Qin tried to intervene with a swift kick, but the possessed man only staggered briefly and advanced, knife raised, pulling Jiang Mo behind her. Yun Qin unleashed a surge of dark energy into Zhou Hao. His agonized screams echoed as the knife slipped from his grasp. Seizing the moment, Yun Qin grasped his throat, fiercely drawing out the evil spirit's energy. Jiang Mo's heart pounded with fear, tears threatening to fall. But Yun Qin's brutal method began to calm Zhou Hao's body, as if lulling him into a trance. Suddenly Yun Qin snapped, "You reckless ghost!" and darted into the bedroom. After the spirit's retreating shadow, but the European-style room dissolved. Jiang Mo followed, only to find herself trapped in the same illusory courtyard. A wooden house appeared before her, and inside, a wedding ceremony unfolded. The bride was exquisite, pale as snow, with delicate features and eyes brimming with love. To Jiang Mo's horror, the groom was Zhou Hao. A voice pronounced their union, and the bride knelt, serene and indifferent. "No!" Jiang Mo cried, rushing toward them, but as she neared, the couple smiled coldly and slipped out a side door. Vanishing behind a slammed wooden door, the voice in her mind pressed urgently, "Go! Zhou Hao is going to marry another woman. Zhou Hao belongs to someone else." And cruel reality. Jiang Mo felt the weight of the Rakshasa's dark deception. Jiang Mo's mind spun uncontrollably as she opened the side door. Compelled by a whispering voice she could not silence. Beyond, Yun Qin had absorbed most of the malevolent aura suffocating the room. The Rakshasa's illusion shattered. Dizziness passed, and Yun Qin's senses returned sharply. Though still within Jiang Mo's shadowed apartment, a faint light flickered near the bedroom door. Muttering faintly, Jiang Mo's voice drifted. "Don't marry her." "Hurry!" Alarmed, Yun Qin stepped outside to find Jiang Mo poised perilously at the balcony's edge. The dusk sky bled dark orange and crimson. Curtains billowing, Jiang Mo's hair wild in the wind, an echo of a tragic moment from Yun Qin's past life. Frozen with dread, Yun Qin approached quietly, then lunged to catch Jiang Mo before she tumbled over. They collapsed onto the balcony floor. Breathless and shaken, gazed bitterly at the rattling railing. Yun Qin shook her head, silencing her. Sensing the Rakshasa's desperate attempt to flee, she channeled her absorbed dark energy into a modest jewelry box. On the dressing table, "Stop hiding. I'll reduce your refuge to ash." The Rakshasa relied on this vessel, a hidden conduit for its evil. Jiang Mo's persistent black smoke was traced to that box. Yun Qin's warning deepened the room's chill, provoking a scornful female voice. From the shadows, "I bear no grudge against you. Why meddle in my affairs?" Jiang Mo, now fully alert, confronted the spectral voice. "You want to kill me, yet claim no quarrel?" Fear lingered beneath her words, but Yun Qin's steady presence gave her courage. Ghosts cared not for reason. Yun Qin knew this well. Ignoring the Rakshasa's bitter accusations of lost love and vengeance upon Mr. Zhao, Yun Qin advanced to the jewelry box. The malicious voice faltered as she absorbed the dark smoke enveloping it. Jiang Mo gasped, recognizing the ghostly figure as the bride from her terrifying illusions. "You're a ghost," Jiang Mo whispered, disbelief coloring her tone. "Draining life, destroying bonds, plotting death. These are your crimes," Yun Qin declared, her eyes glowing golden with the divine power bestowed by Hades. "No, I'm innocent," the Rakshasa screamed, but Yun Qin absorbed her, remaining malevolence, silencing her. The woman's form wavered, curses fading as she dissolved into shadows. "Stop struggling. Return to hell's cycle," Yun Qin intoned, pity flickering through. For the first time, the strange power Hades spoke of, the ability to suppress spirits, coursed faintly through her veins. But was she still human, or had she crossed into? Yun Qin flexed her palm, still stunned that she had subdued a ghost, the realm of the dead? Unwilling to admit her ignorance of Taoist or Buddhist rites. "He's alive. Get him to a hospital." Jiang Mo, watching closely, had doubted the supernatural until now as she struggled to her feet. "Just luck," Yun Qin replied. "Yun Qin, how did you do it?" she asked, her voice shaky, twisting her perception of reality. As dusk swallowed the sky, he was tempted by the Rakshasa. They prey on desire. He's not blameless. The image of a beautiful female ghost haunted Jiang Mo's mind. Yun Qin departed, sensing more darkness awaited her that night. Jiang Mo helped her boyfriend up, recalling Yun Qin's warning. In the cavernous underground garage, Yun Qin climbed the stairs. Her footsteps echoed, but unseen eyes watched from shadows. They whispered lewdly about the Yun family's daughter. Two men lay in wait, lust flickering in their gaze, an alluring but unguarded prey. The men's satisfaction was palpable as one sent a message. As she passed, a heavy blow struck. "It's done. Miss Yun can come appreciate the results." Dust bellowed, scowling at the dragging marks left behind. Yun Rao, lounging nearby, smirked. "He didn't even clean up? Done." Grabbing a camera, she approached the warehouse. A male voice cautioned about secrecy as Yun Rao entered. Inside, the blackness pressed close. At her knock, a voice whispered from darkness. "Miss Yun?" The door creaked open. "It's me," she answered. No. A small, feral ghost perched on her shoulder, tongue lashing eagerly toward her face. Unaware, she pressed on. "Light it up! Bring her here! I want a picture," Yun Rao demanded. The flashlight flickered, revealing a naked woman sprawled on the floor, her body bruised and bleeding. Yun Rao's lips curled in cruel satisfaction as she recognized her sister, Yun Qin. "Looks like my medicine worked. Tortured, but she deserved every bit," she hissed. A light died, plunging them back into blackness. Yun Rao's voice cut through the darkness, demanding light to capture the moment. But silence swallowed her words until laughter, chilling and faint, echoed from above. She raised her phone, its beam revealing only a barren cement ceiling. Then she noticed Yun Qin was gone. Following the tracks, Yun Rao found two men bound and gagged, their faces pale with fear. Suddenly, a sinister laughter filled her ears again. Her expression shifted. Terror flickered before a twisted smile spread across her face. Without hesitation, she gathered the aphrodisiac and forced it down her throat, coughing tears as the powder burned. The men watched helplessly as she shed her clothes, their muffled sobs lost behind taped mouths. Yun Rao's flushed face betrayed madness. Saliva dripped as she moaned softly. Then her phone clattered to the ground, plunging the warehouse into darkness. Hands roamed wildly, tearing at clothing. A frenzy ensued. Meanwhile, Yun Qin had slipped away, unwilling to witness the degradation. She returned to a nearby bar, ordering a margarita with deliberate calm. Men approached, but her cold, detached demeanor repelled them all. As the hour grew late, she stood, feigning unsteadiness. Outside, her steps caught the eyes of many. At her building's door, it swung open to reveal Chen Yuan. Startled to see her, Yun Qin barely glanced at her, before slipping inside, slipping on her shoes. "Where's your sister?" Chen Yuan demanded, voice edged with panic. "Why should I know?" The plan had been set, and yet Yun Qin's return shattered expectations, casting a cold shadow of doubt over all they believed was certain. After Yun Qin dismissed the stunned Chen Wen and retreated upstairs, Chen Yuan's anxiety deepened. She frantically dialed Yun Rao's number, but only met endless voicemail. Calls to the two hired helpers yielded silence. Their phones were off. Racing to the underground garage, Chen Yuan found it deserted. Her confusion mounting, she gripped her phone, torn between calling the police and obeying Yun Rao's cautious advice to wait. A sharp knock startled Yun Qin, freshly showered and ready for bed. Irritated, she opened the door to find Chen Yuan's bloodshot eyes and trembling voice. "You must come with me to find her." Yun Qin's lips curled in a cruel smile. "What, your daughter's a daughter?" "But my mother's daughter isn't?" she taunted, recalling Chen Yin's earlier cruelty. Chen Yuan's guilt flickered briefly, but was drowned by her desperation to find Yun Rao. Seizing Yun Qin's hand, she pleaded, "You have to come." As her elder sister, Yun Qin yanked her hand away with a warning glare, but then relented. Sensing Chen Yin's terror, "All right," she said, "but where do we even start?" Chen Yuan faltered, then admitted she didn't know Yun Rao's plans for the night. Though in truth, she did, to shatter her or drive her mad. Yet here was Yun Qin unscathed. While Yun Rao was missing, a chilling realization seized Chen Yuan. "Impossible," she whispered, voice trembling. Yun Qin closed in, savoring Chen Yuan's fear. Suddenly, Chen Yuan's vision shattered. Yun Qin's beautiful face warped into a grotesque mask of bloodied rage. Chen Yuan screamed and fled, the nightmare dissolving back to Yun Qin's mocking smile. Their frantic search led them to a hidden warehouse. Chen Yuan froze before the rusted door. Yun Qin pushed it open with a creak. "Go on, Auntie. Aren't you looking for Yun Ro?" Inside, Chen Yuan's heart broke. There lay naked, unconscious Yun Ro. Ropes tangled nearby, her vacant eyes haunting. "Xiao Ro!" Chen Yuan sobbed, shaking her daughter gently. Slowly, consciousness returned. "Ghost, ghost, I'm not," Yun Ro stammered, trembling. Chen Yuan covered her daughter's exposed body, tears blurring her vision. As relief and horror mingled, Yun Ro's wide eyes scanned the room. The men were gone. She spotted Yun Qin beside them and screamed again, terror rising anew.